Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Mesa City Council study session. We have a very active audience today. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's January 24th. We want to excuse Mayor Giles, who's out of town, and also Mr. Whitaker, who is not here today. So I was going to say welcome to Mrs. Duff. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you being here.
I'm excited to be here.
Excellent, excellent. So when you want to talk, you press the blue button.
Oh, that's right. I have to get back on this.
Yeah.
All right.
So thank you for being here. The first item on this agenda for study session is to go over the agenda for Monday. So let's go ahead and do that. Approval of minutes. Item 4, action on the following liquor license applications. Item 5, take action on the following contracts. Any questions on those? Item 6, look at resolutions. Any questions on any resolutions? Mr. Thompson.
First of all, I wanted to thank Chris Brady for taking off the IGA for Queen Creek. I know that that's a little contentious with the business group down in the southeast part of Mesa, so thanks for taking that off. In conjunction with 6E on the ASU piece, is there a way, Chris, that you can provide council with a breakdown of what we're going to do for Benedictine University as far as trying to be equitable and fair to them, because, you know, they're paying almost, what, $500,000 a month, and we're going to be leasing buildings to ASU for $1 a year for 99 years. And so venues are already paid at this point. I'm sure they've probably paid more than half of what ASU is going to be paying through the lifetime of their contract. I just want to make sure that, you know, that we're dancing with the date that we brought to the ball and being fair and equitable to them as well.
So Vice Mayor, Councilman Thompson, I've been in discussions with Benedictine since the end of last year. What I've asked them to present to us, excuse me, is a proposed kind of future programming of what new programs, the number of students that they would be adding, kind of like we've done with ASU. Just says, okay, show us the total, get a commitment as far as programs and students. So we're waiting to receive that, and that's also, so as soon as we have that, that was kind of the link that I would bring back to council to talk, you know, to kind of use the reason for not having to pay to rent is this, their commitment to continue to grow and the number of students in the programs at Benedictine. So that's, we're still waiting for that. And then number 2, along with that, we're having discussions. What they've asked us to do is to consider providing the funding, capital, to build out tenant improvements that would allow Cahoots to co-locate within the 225 East Main, within the building that they're in today. And so we're working with Cahoots and Benedictine on trying to come up with a, I'll just say it from the city's manager's perspective, economical space to make it work. And so there's space in that building that can be built out, and some at a better rate than others. And so I'm trying to package all that together. So when I'm waiting for the commitment from Benue on programming student numbers that they would commit to, as well as now we're working with Benue and our architect to get an estimate on the build out for the Cahoots space. So as soon as I have that, I'll bring that package to the council. So if that's what we're planning on doing.
Okay, so will their lease be adjusted? Because I know they're
Yes, that was
they're
the plan.
leasing like sports fields, and they've got, are they working with an IGA with MCC for use of their basketball courts or whatever?
Yeah, I think so. And then they have one with, and then we're also having them use some of our field. They're paying for the athletic fields, but they're not paying for the lease in the buildings at the Mesa Center for Higher Education.
Okay.
But I think what you're asking for, what they're seeking for, is assistance with the building at 225 East Main. So that's the one I've asked for them to kind of show us, okay, for the council, for all of us, we'll do this, but you're going to commit to continue to add programs and students, and what is your commitment for the next at least 10 years? It's kind of I would call it a deferral, as long as you stay here for 10 years, and if you stay here for 10 years, then we abate the rent. If you don't stay here for 10 years, then you have to pay it back or something like that. So but we're working on that. We're still waiting to kind of get all the pieces together, but it is in the works right now.
Perfect, thank you.
Related to that, I'm actually going to be meeting with some of the representatives to talk about building their international program.
Oh, okay.
So that's really exciting to build their capacity as a school. So we're excited about having those kind of conversations. Mr. Freeman, I think you had a question.
I do, Vice Mayor, thank you. On 6C, I just wanted the people who might be listening to Channel 11 know that regarding the light rail, our funding agreements about that. So it goes through and breaks down the annual operating costs and maintenance for the light rail is about $8.2 million. And then our revenue or fees that we receive probably end up about $4.7 million. So the cost to the general fund, or $3.5 million in revenue, but the cost to the general fund is about $4.7 million. And I just want people to be aware of that, so that when they ride the light rail, it's important that fares are paid, and the advertising, the lottery funds, everything that makes that just a great asset to our city. And then thank you, Councilmember Thompson, for bringing up 6E, because that answered. I do have a question on 6E, though. 6E, the pre-construction services contract for the contractor at ASU. Can you just explain a little bit about that for us?
Beth will do a
Or
great
that?
job of that.
Thank you.
Good morning, Vice Mayor, Council.
Yes, what this contract is, it's for the first phase of the construction services. We're proposing to use construction manager at risk. We've selected a contractor. They'll participate all the way through the design, help us control costs, review the design, look at biddability and constructability issues, and then they'll prepare a price for the contract. This is just the first phase. It's called pre-construction services, and they sit at the design table with us to help us get better value in our construction projects. And we particularly use these on projects where we have a lot of stakeholders, a lot of times outside stakeholders, and those that are fairly complex. This will be kind of a very complex project due to the nature of the building itself being very heavy in audio visual. There'll be a lot of, ASU's committed to paying for the furniture, fixtures, and equipment, which are more complex than an audiovisual type building because they're integrated into the building. They aren't something that's bought separate like tables and chairs. It actually gets built into the building. So the contractor will help us coordinate all of that and get that all on board.
And Mayor and Council, just a reminder, our agreement with ASU, there is a cap on the
Yes.
city's contribution, but also this methodology that's being recommended, bringing the contractor on early, will also lead to eventually they'll be coming back to the city, or we'll be bringing back to council a guaranteed maximum price.
Yes, we will.
So we'll go into the project with a guaranteed maximum price from the contractor, and from the city's perspective, it will not exceed the amount that we've already agreed to with ASU. Now, ASU has a choice to pay more than that, but right now, I think everybody's trying to work within the stated amount, so.
We are.
Thank you. I know that in prior conversations that construction costs seem to be escalating throughout our area, so that's one thing to keep control of those caps.
Yep.
It does help us do, and this helps us do that quite a bit because we don't have any surprises after we bid a project. This way we go
Exactly.
into it knowing the cost.
All right, thank you.
Okay, item 7, our zoning ordinance. Any question on zoning ordinance? Item 8, our plats, and item 9 is continuance for June 3rd meeting. Alrighty, no other questions? Okay, we'll move on to our council's study session agenda. Oh, I also wanted to acknowledge Mr. Tony Margalis, who is from Mesa Leadership. Tony, would you wave? Tony is following me today to learn about city government, so hopefully he'll learn something. So thank you for being here, Tony. Item 2 is acknowledge receipt of minutes from various boards and committees. Can I have a motion? Motion by Mr. Thompson, second by Mr. Freeman. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Okay, motion carries. Item 3 is report on meetings and conferences attended. Let's see, Mrs. Duffy, do you want to talk about yesterday?
I'll start with yesterday. Last night was the grand opening for Art Space right here on South Hibbert. And this is a project I know the city and the community in a number of ways has been working on for many years. So it was a really spectacular grand opening to see the artists moved in. It's a workplace and studio space for artists. And there'll be a great complement to and synergy with the Mesa Arts Center and our arts community that we've built here. So we had their grand opening and acknowledgements and celebration and music and food, and it was fabulous. There's some other events that happened this past week. It's been a busy week, and I don't want to, I know everybody has also attended. Last Saturday, we had the grand opening of the Mesa Farmers Market and Flea at Pioneer Park. That's every Saturday from 8 to 1. It was very successful, and many of the vendors sold out. They're supplying up, and they'll be back this Saturday, so don't miss it. Hacktivate, which is a high school groups that got together, and Candace was there as a judge as well, and they looked at data and analysis and made creative solutions to some of our biggest problems that we have in our city, and there's some great takeaways even for teenagers, so that was a very fun event. And then the MLK, the Martin Luther King Junior Parade and Festival, and I should let someone else talk.
Thank you, Mrs. Duff. Mr. Thompson was going to talk about the parade.
Yeah, it was thank you, Vice Mayor. It was a well-attended parade. All of council was there, and it was just a great occasion to be able to participate in MLK Day Parade and in honor of such a great man. So I thank council for being out there and thank the committee that put it together for inviting us to be there to participate.
Great, thank you. Mr. Freeman?
Thank you. Yeah, I did attend that parade, and that was, I guess, one of my benefits is I get to drive the fire truck. So I don't know if I'm driver operator certified, but I might have to go through the driver course again.
And I get shotgun.
Yeah, you had shotgun ringing the bell.
I don't know the cowboy hat fits, but, it's good.
Well, that's who I am. The other thing I'd like to mention is we had a groundbreaking over at the Courtyard Marriott there at Riverview, so the Sheraton Hotel adjacent to that. So we had a groundbreaking on Friday, and they're going to be digging the footings here about the 28th of this month. So they're not wasting any time to get that hotel built. So congratulations to Mr. Yost and his team. We appreciate his willingness to build the facility and the hotel. So looking forward to that. Caveat is he's going to be building during spring training, so that'll be a tough time. But after that, he should be able to get it done. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Freeman. Mr. Heredia?
Just want to thank staff. Tuesday morning, there was a point in time homeless count. Thanks for Liz and her team and the tremendous volunteers. I think probably like 80 and 100 volunteers that spanned out early in the morning, including myself. Drove with Officer Hernandez, the west side of town. Got to talk to several folks experiencing homelessness, and just want to thank staff for their work and looking forward to the data that we collect there. So thank you.
All righty, looks like we've had a busy week. Yes. Yeah.
One more thing. Last week, we had also in West Mesa, a company, Titan Solar Power, relocate their corporate headquarters to West Mesa, bringing about 300 jobs along Baseline. So great news and keeps on the momentum that we're building on the west side. So thank you.
All righty, anything else? Wow, okay, excellent. Mr. Brady, scheduled for future meetings and any general information you'd like to share?
Yes, thank you, Vice Mayor. Just a reminder, we'll be meeting on Monday, January 28th. We'll have a study session, and that'll be followed by our council meeting. I want to just give council a little bit of a heads up of what's coming as far as study sessions over the next 3 weeks, because I think there's some items that are of great interest to the council. and just kind of let you know what our current schedule is. So on January 31st, that study session, we intend to bring to council the follow-up discussion about the electronic scooters. We know there's a little bit of interest about that going on. And so we'll bring that, and we're going to bring you a couple of different scenarios or options to consider, along with what we found out from some other cities across the country and here locally and what they have been able to do as far as addressing the scooters. Then on February 7th, we are going to present to the council our rollout or the proposed implementation of the 2018 bond package, both public safety as well as the parks and cultural projects. So we want to share with you the 4 to 5 year plan we have for those projects and the schedule that we've put together for rolling those out over the next a few years. And then again, just a reminder, on February 14th, we have that scheduled as a strategic planning session for the city council. We'll be having that over at the Benue, I think it's called their community room over there. And we'll start that at 7:30, and we expect to go for at least half the day up to about 11:30. So if you'll plan on that, that's what we have. And Pamela Slim, who's facilitated the council in discussions last year, will be back to assist us again. So that's just, there'll be other things, but those I think are some that I think council's been asking about the timing and scheduling of those items, and I thought I'd share those with you today. So.
And I think next Thursday's council pictures, so.
Oh.
Make sure we're all dressed up.
Yep.
For
Right.
All righty. Any other item? All righty. Is there a motion to adjourn? Moved by Mr. Thompson, second by Mr. Freeman. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Okay, meeting is adjourned. Thank you so much.